AM 1110 radio and Channel 18 Valley TV. Hello, Papa.
Is there anything else?
No, you too.
There you go. I don't want to be taken off after I'm on it.
Well, that's true. That's true. I can't believe you remembered that.
I couldn't remember how I got on it. I sure didn't know how to get off.
Exactly. I remember when I told you we went viral. You were like, well, what's that?
I thought it meant it was a lot of masculinity or something.
That was funny. We'll tell you about some things coming up here in Pikeville and Bledsoe County. Saturday, August 26th, the Fall Creek Falls Fire Department, they're going to be having a breakfast and community yard sale. It'll take place at the fire department from 7 a.m. to 12 noon. Come set up the table, sell your items. The fire department will be serving a breakfast. They'll have scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, hash browns, fresh fruit, sausage, bacon, country ham, fried bologna, coffee, orange juice, chocolate milk to drink.
That's a new one.
Yeah. $6 a plate, and it's for a good cause. So that's on Saturday, August 26th, 7 a.m. to 12 noon. And that's at the Fall Creek Falls Fire Department. That sounds good.
Yeah, but you think anybody got anything left to sell?
I don't know. That's a good question, Papa.
We just got through with that big yard
The
sale.
big 127 yard sale. There was tons of people here.
But nobody wanted to buy my yard. I wanted to set it off in sections for them to mow and weed eat.
Yeah.
Didn't get a bite.
Yeah, well, they thinking it's a yard sale. They're missing the point, aren't they?
I would have given them some.
We got a breakfast. Right, listeners on WUAT, got a breakfast this Saturday. It's at the Veterans Club. It's from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. They'll have biscuits and gravy, country ham, sausage, bacon, scrambled eggs, hash browns, tomatoes, coffee, milk, and orange juice to drink. A modest donation per plate is requested. And this month's breakfast is sponsored by Citizens Tri-County Bank. The Lincoln School, they are going to start having concerts every last Saturday of the month. Every last Saturday night of each month, you can go to the Lincoln School and see a concert at 5 o'clock p.m. And the price for admission will be $2.50. A small snack will be served. And if you have any questions, just call Luther Hollingsworth. His number is 447-6601. That's 447-6601. So that's a good thing.
Did you say concert?
Yeah, it's a singing.
All right, that's the way I read it. So I thought maybe.
Well, you know, Joyce Bounds used to do this for them.
Yeah, I remember.
She worked hard.
They let me sing one time.
Yes, I remember that. We went up there one night, and the food was good.
They made me sing. Really, they didn't let me.
Yeah, I know it. I remember that. And so Joyce worked really hard for the Lincoln School, so I'm glad to see that they're continuing that. So.
It was not just
Luther's doing that.
It wasn't just a little snack either.
No, it was a meal.
A meal.
She worked hard on that. So glad to see that coming back. That's at the Lincoln School. And folks, the farmers market, just about every Saturday now, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, you can go by there and see a lot of vendors set up each Saturday. A lot of times you're going to have fresh peaches, apples, honey, flowers, eggs, herbs, and handmade crafts. And that is just about every Saturday now.
I saw all that last Saturday.
Yeah.
I walked through there and saw all of it.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing that. And it's from 8 a.m. until 12 noon each Saturday.
You can get a sample of the peach.
Yeah.
They're local.
Yeah, everything's from Bledsoe. That's true. All right, Papa, what you got?
I've got something coming up here at the middle school, and it's going to be the 15th open house. This is the third year in a row they've done this, and it will be at 6 p.m. And the night will begin in the school auditorium with an informational meeting with the school principal, Mr. Chris Cagle. Parents will then have the opportunity to follow their child's daily schedule, visiting the classrooms and meeting the teachers of each child. There's also going to be door prizes during the night. At odd times there will be a drawing for a door prize. Then students will have a back-to-school dance at the same time from 5:30, so you got to come before 6. 5:30 to 7 in the gym. 5:30 to 7. Somewhere along the way, they've got to get those parents to their room. But anyway, it says it's going to be.
They'll figure it out, though.
Be there at 5 if you want to dance. Be there at 6 if you want to find out about your kid. That's at the middle school. Middle school.
Right. Another breakfast.
Oh, I'll just love
and
to.
You like this one now. This is one of his
Well, let me
folks.
tell you, there's not a one of them I don't like.
I believe that with all my heart.
The country breakfast at Mountain Crest Fire Hall will be Saturday, the 19th of August. That'll be Saturday week, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's out at the intersection of Route 30 and 101 as it branches off to the right there. You get this breakfast for $5.
It's not bad at all.
The menu will be bacon and sausage, eggs, hash browns, biscuits and gravy and jelly. All the just jars of jelly sitting around on the table.
Homemade.
Yeah. You can have butter. Do you like butter on your biscuits?
Absolutely.
They have butter, they have coffee, and they have milk, and they have juice.
Yeah, they never mention that for some reason, but they do have it.
But this is the put on by the fire department out there in that community.
Yeah, it's for a really good cause.
And so
Crest.
they want you to sponsor. They want you to support their sponsorship of this meal by giving them $5 for every time you go through the line. You can go 2 or 3 times. They'll let you.
They'll let you, yeah.
Or you could just give them $10 for your meal.
Right. Well,
Work.
that's some of the announcements and things going on.
Some of the goings on.
I got the Bluegrass Festival this weekend. Radio listeners, go up to the Edmonds Barn. The Bluegrass Festival, 9 Mile Bluegrass Festival, is this Friday and Saturday. Friday show time is 7 p.m. Saturday it kicks off at 12 noon. And admission is $5. And they always have a great crowd and great food. Check out their concession stand. They have a great concession stand at the 9 Mile the Bluegrass Festival. Got tongue tied there.
Let me tell you something. This is no small thing.
No,
it is big time.
Yeah, it is.
It's big
been going on for a long time.
They do a good job. They do a good job.
They do.
Are you ready for last week's trivia?
I am. And if you don't talk in this microphone more,
Are you ready for this week's trivia?
The levels, so that's why I can tell. Yes, I'm ready for last week's trivia.
I just thought you were psychic. You know what ESP stands for, don't you?
What?
I'm asking you, do you? But you've heard of ESP?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I was saying you had ESP.
Yeah.
Extra sensory perception.
Oh.
So you got it, boy.
Aren't you smart?
Also, it might be something going on in the occult. Good.
No.
Last week's trivia.
You ain't right. Okay, last week's trivia.
Who portrayed Alvin C. York in the movie about Mr. York from up above us up here in Jamestown? You said, I said Palomar.
Yeah, you did.
You don't believe that, do you? P-A-L-L-M-A-L-L. There's a cigarette.
Yeah.
But they call them Pall Mall.
Pall Malls or something like that, yeah.
No, Pall Mall. No, I get it, Pall Mall.
But,
anyway, who was the movie actor that filled the role for Alvin C. York?
Allie, do you know? My lifeline didn't know none of these last week, did it? I don't remember.
Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper. When you say it, I remember.
Do you remember ever seeing Gary Cooper in a movie? Am I that old?
I can't place Gary Cooper. I've heard the name. Gary Cooper.
I think I was born out of time. Second question.
I have heard the name.
Name the author of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, Allie, it seems like when he said this one,
You got it.
Yeah. Mark Twain.
Yeah, Mark Twain.
Thank you, Lifeline.
Okay, now while I have been laid up and not been able to work, had to quit work completely, I've been doing some reading. And one of the books I chose to read again was Treasure Island.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote Treasure Island?
Any
Classic.
Lifeline?
Classic.
I know, but it seems like I didn't know it.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Shoot, I'd have never thought of that.
A well-known author. Well-known author. Okay. Next question. Who authored?
I'm getting my mic situated here. Go right ahead.
Who authored the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Again, this is a classic. May I remind you?
When was this wrote? Give us a
Back
clue
in the
here.
1700s, I guess. I wasn't around.
I mean, I've heard of that. They must have made a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 20,000.
Okay. And producers read it, but she don't know who wrote it. So
Jules
tell us.
Verne. Jules Verne.
Never get those. Now those two were hard. I don't care how much of a classic they
I'll
are.
admit it, but if I can hear the name of the book or the movie, I can get the author because I remember
Okay.
reading them, and
Yeah.
some of them more than once.
Okay,
When I was in school, I loved to read. I still do.
that's good.
I like to read.
good.
And down here on the window of our superintendent's office, it says, "Read 20 minutes a day."
Yeah, they say it's good
That's
for
talking.
you.
That's talking to kids.
Yeah, I think it affects everybody though.
Yeah, but if
I
you get
do.
to reading, you're not going to stop in 20 minutes.
No.
You know the book I wrote about Carolyn
Mm-hmm.
and for Carolyn? I had
A splash of red.
a splash of red. I guess I had maybe 5 or 6 different people to come to me after they had bought the book, and they said, "Albert, I didn't lay it down after I started reading."
That's good.
Man, was that
means
good.
That they liked it.
They liked her,
Yes.
and they liked what I said about her.
That's true.
Okay, next question. Which woman gave us Little Women? Gotta be one of the most popular books of all time.
And I've definitely heard of it, but not a clue on the author. What about you, Allie?
Louisa May
Louisa?
Alcott.
Louisa? I would
Louise?
have never guessed that.
Louise, maybe. I don't know.
Louisa, maybe?
Oh.
Either way, I would have never guessed it.
Miss Alcott was it.
I've
Okay.
heard of her book. I've just
Okay.
not heard of her.
Now, let's get into the adventure series. The swashbuckling 3 guys that played the 3 Musketeers. In their book that was introduced by a famous author, what was his name? The 3 Musketeers. You remember their
I
names?
study up on my authors, apparently, because I don't know any authors.
You don't know that
You
one?
know,
Alexander Dumas.
I've never guessed that either.
Well, what about
I've never heard of him.
Jungle Book?
Great movie. It was filmed down
That
here
was
in
the name
Moultrie
of
Falls.
that was the name of the movie, Jungle Book.
Yeah. I never read the book, but I watched the movie. They did film some of that movie here.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard.
Oh gosh, some of these names, good grief!
Okay, I'm
You gotta
sorry.
admit that's a different name, isn't it?
It is Rudyard. I wouldn't want to have my child spell that. I'd rather have Peekaboo Street, wouldn't you? Or like last week, the story I told about the 2 boys. One of us named Trouble. One of us named Mind Your Own Business.
I like that one.
Oh,
That
okay.
was one of your better jokes.
In Rip Van Winkle's story, what was the odd thing that happened to Rip Van Winkle?
I mean, I know he slept a lot.
He slept. How long? How long did he sleep?
Was it years?
Yeah,
Was
he
it?
took a nap.
That was one heck
And
of a nap.
when he woke up, it was blank years later.
20.
20. You guessed.
I guess.
You guessed.
Wow.
Isn't that
good.
something?
Yeah.
What happened to my
That's
baby?
pretty
Where,
slick.
where's my baby?
I don't know, 20 years. Did nobody miss him?
I wonder what his wife thought happened to him.
She must have been glad.
Okay, now there's another book. The name of it is Gulliver's Travels.
I've heard of that too.
Okay.
You never heard of? I've heard of Gulliver's Travels, but
I'm not going to ask you who wrote it because you would know, Jonathan Swift. But when he gets back home to reality, he finds something that convinces him, that proves to him that what happened to him really happened. He found
it wasn't
something.
A dream, yeah.
He realized it really was true.
Yeah.
Because he had evidence. What was the evidence? He found a little bitty sheep in his pocket.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because he was like a giant.
To them.
To them.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that part. There was a movie on that too.
Yeah. Most all your classics will have been made into a movie.
Yeah.
Don't you think Gone with the Wind was a classic?
Yeah.
Still is?
Yeah.
Still, I bet you can still see Gone with the Wind on the movie, on television.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I bet you can.
I'm sure, yeah.
I bet you can. And you know what? You can still go down to the library and get the book and read it. Just take you 4 hours.
4 hours.
You got 4 hours to give. Next question. Daniel Boone was born in 1734, dying 86 years later in 1820.
Okay.
During his time here, what did he do that causes him to be remembered? Tell me some of the things that Daniel Boone did in his lifetime that he is recorded, he's remembered for.
Hunting.
He was a great hunter.
He ended up being a politician.
He was a politician last. Yes, he was.
And he's kind of like a folk hero in a way too.
Yeah, he had a television series. Well, he didn't know it.
I know.
Fess Parker knew it.
Right. Well, those are 3 good things about him.
Well, he was a frontiersman.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the leaders of settling the West. He's the one that gave us Kentucky and Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He settled those 2 states. And he was also a surveyor.
Okay.
That would be one reason he did a lot of the frontier work.
Know.
Yeah. And he was a trader because he dealt in a lot of pelts, a lot of furs.
Okay.
Because he was a hunter.
Yeah.
What would you hunt for? Food to eat, yes. But you did not dispose of those skins. You sold them.
Yeah.
And he was
some good money off that.
And he was a militia leader. Remember, he's born in 1734. How old would he have been in 1776? Just right. 1734.
42.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was a militia leader too.
Wow.
So he was a very interesting person.
Yeah, he had a lot going on.
Okay, that's...
Him and old Davy Crockett. Every time I think of one, I think of the other. But,
Okay.
So is that it for last week?
That's last week's trivia.
All right, well, coming up after the break, we'll have this week's trivia. No telling what it's going to be, folks. And we'll also have some sports for you coming up next on the Albert and Billy Show.
Sports of all sorts.
All right, welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show on WUAT Radio and Channel 18 Valley TV. You can also check us out on YouTube. It's time for this week's trivia.
Okay, now
And he was being sarcastic over the break, so I can tell they're going to be hard.
No. It won't be hard. You ready?
Yes.
Which Union general probably ended the South's fight by marching through Georgia from Buzzard Roost Gap to Savannah all the way to the sea, as depicted in Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. It took 10 months for him to go from one end of Georgia to the far end of Georgia. What was that general's name?
Grant.
No.
Lee.
Lee was the South.
We're not. Oh, I thought you said.
I
the
said he
South.
marched through Georgia.
But we're talking about the Yankees. Okay.
Well,
North.
along the way, he's doing everything he can to hurt civilians and everything they've got. He ruined and burned and did everything. He ransacked. He just destroyed everything he could destroy on his way through Georgia for 10 months. What was that general's name?
I don't know.
I'm not going to tell you. Question number
You're
2.
going to start giving clues.
Well, I told you.
We're going to go that far back in history.
Buzzard
let's give
Root.
clues.
That's just 1861 to
Yeah,
1860.
That's all.
It's one of the most famous wars we were ever in, and the only one we were ever fought against ourselves.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've learned about the Civil War, though.
Let me tell you, of all the wars to study and to learn about, that's one of the most interesting because, like I say, we fought
Very
ourselves.
odd. Yes.
And
true.
there were a lot of people killed. We have been to a lot of those battlefields, and it's not uncommon. I assure you, it's not uncommon to find a northern bullet and a southern bullet meshed where they met in midair. The fighting was that close.
That's crazy, though.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Question number 2. The Statue of Liberty has an imposing presence where it is located. Tell me where it is located and where it came from.
Come from France.
It came from France. You're right.
And it's on Ellis Island.
It is on Ellis Island.
In
Where
New York City.
That is it. You got it from one from one end to the other. You got New York Harbor, Ellis Island, France. That's a 3-pronged question. You got all prongs.
You should be proud.
I am. You're my favorite grandson today.
Today.
Question number 3. If FDR stands for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, what do the initials LBJ and HST stand for? Presidentially speaking, LBJ and HST.
Is this HST Truman?
Truman would be the T.
God, what was his first? Henry?
LBJ. Oh, you're trying to get the Truman.
LBJ, it'll be Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon, but
I
B
don't
stands
know
for
their middle
something.
names, though.
It's not Bad Boy.
No. I don't know their middle names, though.
Baines.
That's,
Since you got Lyndon, I'll give you the
Okay.
Baines. And Truman is right, but what's his Truman? What's his name?
I can't even get his
He
first
was the
name.
president.
Henry?
No.
Harry?
Harry.
Okay, Harry Truman.
Harry S. Truman.
Esther? Did you say that?
I said Harry S. Truman.
Harry S. Truman. Who? No, surely not Stewart, is it? Steve?
Now listen. Listen,
Sam?
listen and learn. Listen and learn. Next time you see Harry S. Truman's name anywhere in print, look at the S.
Okay.
There should be no period. Because when you put a period after a letter, that letter stands for a name.
Abbreviation. Oh.
But if the S is there with nothing and it's self-standing, that's his name. Like Peekaboo Street, his name was Harry S.
Well, that's a trick question, kind of.
Oh.
So it's S. What about that?
That's Albertology. Okay. Next question.
Starting Albertology a little early today, aren't you?
Who immortalized for us the song Suwannee River? You want me to sing you a few bars to get you?
You may have to. I don't even know the song, I don't think.
Oh, come on.
Well, I mean, it's not coming to me.
Way down upon the Suwannee River.
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
sung it? I mean, who wrote it?
I don't know who wrote it. I don't
Let
know
me
who
tell
sung
you.
it.
Let me tell you. He had never seen the Suwannee River.
Never saw the river.
He never saw it, and he called a friend and said, "I'm writing a song, and I need a a 3-syllable word for a river in the South. Sewanee.
Wow.
Sewanee.
That's crazy.
His name, I'm not going to tell you his name. You're going to have to get that next week. Next question. Evidently you don't know it and you've not even heard of it. Have you ever been across it? If you went to Florida with us, you did.
Okay, then yeah. Yeah, I've been across it.
Okay. You didn't know it though.
No.
But it's got a sign there.
Does it?
Yeah. Okay. Who portrayed the character Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz?
Judy Garland.
Well, you got another one. You're on a roll.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of one.
Okay, the lead role in the movie National Velvet. I know that was a long time ago.
Never heard of that one.
Ah.
Have you heard of it? I don't know that one. If I don't even know the movie, I'm sure
It made that woman a star, that girl a star. She was 17, I think, at that time.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Are you for real?
Yeah,
You
I just
said
totally guessed.
it. You said it.
Dang. Maybe I am a little sidekick today.
Ooh, this
Allie's clapping for me.
this ESP is going too far today.
I know it. I was just trying to think of people from that generation, maybe.
When you're wanting to talk about how far
That's
somebody
funny.
could go and how things could go out of kilter and everything, you say it goes to the blank degree. What do you call that? ESP is the extrasensory perception. But whenever you're wanting to give something its highest ranking, you call it the blank degree.
The umpth degree. The nth degree.
Nth degree.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what you're doing today.
Yeah.
Where would you be if you were in the kingdom of Neptune?
Oh. What's the kingdom of Neptune?
You tell me. I asked you the question.
Now that's way too hard.
Is it real or fiction?
It's not real.
No, yeah, like Neptune under the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the water.
Oh, you're talking.
Neptune is the king of the sea.
That's I
Greek
thought his name was-
mythology.
Neptune tried sun.
Yeah, I've heard of those. I've
Right.
heard of them, but Neptune's also a planet, so I was trying to figure
No,
out what Neptune
Neptune's
you're talking
not a
about.
planet. Neptune?
Yeah,
So,
Neptune is a planet.
they named the planet after a Greek god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
Papa, you know that.
yeah, I do. Next question. You've heard of the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
The Rat Pack was composed of how many male movie stars? And we're talking about what, the 60s or
Yeah.
70s?
So I don't know how you expect me to know it.
Well,
But-
surely you've heard of some of them. They're famous
I've heard of
people.
some of them.
Famous people.
Sammy Davis.
Sammy Davis Jr. was one of them. You're right.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra's two of them. That's you're good. You're good. Frank Sinatra.
Gosh, I can't. I mean, there's one that I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. His son got killed. It really messed him up.
Well, there's another one. He sang. That's Samore.
Yeah.
He played with Jerry Lewis.
There's one of them's like Tony something maybe,
No.
or gosh, what is his name?
Well, you did.
Well, I
you,
got two of them
you
at
got,
least,
You got two.
and I can see one of them's face.
Well, Dean Martin was one of them.
That's the okay. I was like Dean Martin. His
Dean
son
Martin,
got killed.
Yeah. Well, and then I think Peter Lawford was one of them too. Peter Lawford was the movie star. Frank Sinatra was the singer,
Yeah.
and all
Sammy
of them.
Davis was like a comedian,
Well,
probably.
but he could sing and he could act,
Yeah.
he could dance, he could do anything.
Okay.
He was really good.
They were
Okay.
in Vegas a lot.
Yeah, they were entertainers. Wherever they could get a gig, they'd be there. Okay, the last one. The movie, The African Queen, probably made back in the 40s, I guess. Maybe. No, I don't mean 2040.
Yeah, I know. I
1940.
know.
The male lead. And here again, it is a classic, Billy. I wouldn't be a bit surprised by what is still on television. But
I don't
who had the
clue.
lead? Who had the lead in it, male-wise?
Sidney Poitier.
I like Sidney Poitier, but he would not have been.
I just guessed.
We're talking about World War II.
I don't know
Okay.
that one then.
That's all.
Well, I thought I did pretty good because some of those
You
were
did
hard.
the best you've ever done. I'll give you an
On
A.
those, yeah.
I'll give you a passing grade.
Well, thank you, Professor. Professor Albert, thank you. Well, it's time for sports, Papa.
Are we ready?
We're ready for some sports news.
Sports of all sorts. Well,
Yeah.
in
U.S.
sports.
Open will be starting here before long, Papa. In New York.
Well, you're talking
For
tennis,
That's not far away, though.
but you got a golf tournament starting today too, PGA.
Oh, really? Which one?
Well, this will be the PGA Championship tourney, which will be the fourth leg of the big Grand Slam.
Is that what it's called, though?
PGA Championship.
Where's it at, though?
PGA, I don't really know. I haven't looked.
It's not the one in Augusta, is it?
It's going to the next. It's going to be back in Quail Hollow, but that's not going to be till 2028. They set those
Oh.
things 6 years in advance, I think.
Wow.
But
Okay.
here's the one thing I want us to be sure and get to today. The first woman to ever win a scholarship to play college football.
Wow.
Now, we've had women to play college football, but this woman actually won a scholarship from the NCAA to play for a college. She's 18
Wow.
years old, and her name is Becky Londo. She has been kicking for her high school team in Phoenix, and she has signed to play in Alamosa, Colorado at
Okay.
Adams State College. She's going to be a recipient of a scholarship to play football, a woman.
That's big news.
That is big news.
So she'll be their kicker.
Never been done before.
That's impressive then. Congratulations to her.
In track, the reason I picked this out to talk about, Usain Bolt has been the fastest human on this planet from 08. He was in the Olympics in 08. He was in the Olympics in 12. He was in the Olympics in 16. And in each of those Olympic games, he finished first in the 100-meter race.
Okay.
So he maintained his superiority all through those years. He's 30 now. And in the London World Championship games this week, he wanted to close out his career with a win in front of 60,000 adoring fans in London, cheering for Usain Bolt to win his last race and get the gold in the World Championship games.
Yeah.
Two men from Tennessee, that former track stars. One of their names was Justin Gatlin,
Okay.
and one of their names was Christian Coleman.
Okay.
Former volunteer track stars.
Got you. Okay.
Mr. Gatlin finished at 9:92. He got the gold. Mr. Coleman finished at 9:94. He got the silver.
Well, they represented Tennessee well. Then.
Yeah. Usain Bolt came in.
Got the
He got the
bronze.
bronze.
And that was his last race.
That was the last race.
Well, at least he got a medal.
He got a medal.
You know,
What else can you get?
could have been worse.
Okay. In football, Neyland Stadium seats 102,455 fans.
It's huge.
It's
and a lot of
huge.
times there's that many people there. You
There
know,
are,
it's
there are,
crazy.
in the United States, in all the schools, there's probably about 135 or 40 universities. I don't know.
It's more than that, but yeah, you're close.
Only 7 other schools can lay claim to over 100,000 fans in attendance on a given Saturday.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Michigan
So
would be
Tennessee,
one.
but Tennessee has only 2 practice fields. So they are putting in their third. Some schools have 4 practice fields, which gives you time to divide your team up into whatever you want them to divide it up to, because you've got up team coaches
that's
working with every position on the team, you know.
Yeah, it's an advantage.
It's definitely an advantage. So they're going to do that. They're working to do the best they can to spend all the money they can to get us upgraded. But recently, in fact, I read this week, some of the team players, even Butch Jones' wife, Barb, have been helping with a project up there in Knoxville to present a lady, one lady household, one woman household, but no husband in the house, whatever you call that.
Single mom.
Single mom.
Okay.
That's what you call that.
Okay.
They gave her a house built by Habitat for Humanity, but the team and the coach's wife helped build that house to give to Vicky Holloway, was her name, and Quentin Normandy, the one that's trying to be the quarterback, he presented her with the keys to the house.
That was very nice.
I thought that
Very
was
nice.
good. And
That's
what
good
about
that they do that.
what about? I made a mistake. This
First one you ever?
one ever made. I said that our first game was with Indiana State,
You did. You said that.
but the
I heard
first game is Georgia Tech. I
Georgia
forgot
Tech,
about
that's
Georgia
a
Tech,
much tougher opponent
Yeah.
than Indiana State.
but it's going to be on September the 2nd.
Is it at Georgia Tech or in Knoxville?
It must not be in. I don't know where it
Then
is.
it's in Atlanta.
I don't know.
If they're not playing in Knoxville, they're probably playing in Atlanta then.
Why in the world did I go to Indiana State and overlook Georgia Tech? I don't know.
I don't.
Georgia Tech.
It would be smarter to schedule Indiana State as your first game. Start off easy and build up.
At one time, Georgia Tech was in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Bobby Dodd was their coach.
The Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech.
That's what they called themselves.
Yeah.
And the rest of that song's not nice.
Right.
What about Josh Dobbs? Where is
Steelers.
Josh Dobbs right now, today?
He's in Pittsburgh, ain't he?
He's with Pittsburgh, but guess what's going on in his life between
Oh, no.
between tonight and tomorrow night?
No clue.
Tomorrow night, he will be the starting quarterback against the New York Giants for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
Roethlisberger is resting.
I was about to
The
say.
backup quarterback is ailing. He's number 3.
What about that?
So Josh Dobbs will be the starting quarterback tomorrow
For my
night.
favorite team, by
Yeah.
the way, the Steelers.
I thought you might like to know that.
Yeah. Well, I hope he does good. I hope he does great.
Basketball. Tennessee's basketball team, the male part, they're on a tour in Europe playing a 3-game exhibition
Okay.
match, and
That's good.
the first game they beat Spain. But when you beat a team in the rest of the world, you're playing pros.
That's right. They're international.
So they won 86 to
Pros.
79 in their first game.
That's a big win.
Golf. Golf.
So that was their first game.
Yeah. So that sounds good.
Yeah.
And
Did they play in Spain or
They played in Spain. Yeah.
And they're going to travel
Barcelona.
to some more countries.
Yeah, they're going to end up in Paris, I believe.
Wow. Well, that's really good.
Okay, in golf, last Sunday in Akron, Ohio, the Bridgestone Classic, Hideki Matsuyama won the tournament.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that name last week. It's a crazy name.
He won $1,666,000 for winning that golf tournament. He shot a 61 on Sunday.
Okay.
This is not one of the majors. So remember I told about somebody that shot a 62, and that was the first time in so many 422 tournaments,
Yeah.
4 many games. But see, this is
Wasn't a
not
major,
not a
though.
major.
Yeah.
But anyway, he shot a 61, and the prize, second place was $1,045,000.
Not too shabby at all.
The player that finished 59th in the field, his prize for finishing 59th was well,
Is it $943,000?
$51,000
Oh, 51,000.
to finish 59th.
Wow. That's not too shabby either.
Sunday in 3 golf tournaments. They had 3 different golf tournaments scattered throughout the United States. The 6th of August, the prize money was for the Women's British Open, $3.25 million total purse. PGA Tour Championship, $1.75 million. And the LMA Classic was $600,000. All together in one weekend, in one sport, in one game, golf, $5.6 million was awarded on one day.
That's crazy.
So why are people not trying to hit that little white ball in that little hole?
Because you got to be really good. It's
Go
not
figure.
that easy.
By the way, the PGA Championship Tour begins today. The tournament.
Okay.
It'll be today. And
Is it-
Jordan Spieth, if he wins it, that will be the fourth leg. That will give him the Grand Slam.
Oh,
of
okay.
golf.
That's one
Now I want to
of
ask you
that.
something.
He's the
Where
one that won the other three.
where else do you hear the term Grand Slam?
Tennis
Where else?
and baseball.
Baseball. What does it mean in baseball?
It's home run. With
Home
bases
run with the
loaded.
bases loaded. You're good. You're good. Okay. In baseball, my Dodgers are on top.
And in tennis, it's the majors are called slams, grand slams.
Grand Slam.
And if you win all four, you've won a grand slam.
Just like in golf.
Yep. And
You got to be good.
you got to be really good to do that.
Really
I think
good.
the last person to do it was Steffi Graf, I believe. And nobody's been able to do it. Man or woman's been able to do it since. It's too hard. So I think
Yeah, it's
Serena's come
hard.
close, and Roger Federer, but it's too hard.
Close don't count except in horseshoes.
That's right. Just don't count.
But my Dodgers are in first place by 15 games. They won
His
seven.
Dodgers out.
They won 79 and lost 33. Let me tell you something, Billy.
He's the owner and the coach.
I have to pay that.
Manager.
I have to pay that payroll out.
Yeah.
At that rate, if you won 79 ball games and you've lost 33, at that rate, you're only losing one out of every 4 games. You're going to wind up the season with 117 wins. I think
That's
the
a lot of
record.
wins.
I think the record is 111.
Oh,
Said 1954.
They might break the record.
The Braves are in third place in their division. They're 16 games behind. And the Cubbies that won it all last year, they've got a 1-game lead in the Central Division. 1 game lead.
So they're having another good season.
Yeah.
So LA though has the best record overall
Oh yeah, there's no one.
in both.
They're playing at a clip of 734. The next closest is barely over 600.
Wow.
It's like I said, if you're playing at 740, you're winning 3 out of every 4 ball games.
Well, they should win the World Series this year, Papa. If nothing goes wrong.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It would be for you, wouldn't it?
Well,
When's the last time they won it?
my Dodgers, 88.
88, okay.
When's the last time Tennessee won? 98?
Yeah,
98. Okay, when we're going to do Albertology?
that's true. Well, it's not time for Albertology yet. We got to go to a break. You know that.
Well, when we're going to do our sponsors, don't forget them.
After the break. He's asking questions he knows the answer to, folks. And you weren't even done with sports. You just stopped. You had more wrote down.
No, this has to do with Albertology.
Oh, well, I should have known.
You want me to still do it?
Well, good old Albertology
Coming up.
will be coming up after the break, right here on the Albert and Billy Show. And it's time for Albertology, your favorite time.
Here we
And
go.
as our producer pointed out, which the viewers and listeners can't see, but it's raining with the sun out.
And it's bright sunlight too.
Yeah. What's the old saying though? The devil's beating his wife. That's one of the sayings when it does that.
That's when it thunders. You ever hear that? When
Oh,
it
no.
thunders?
That was kissing.
I've always heard when it's raining and the sun out that the devil's beating his wife.
There's multiple words.
But there's a bunch of
It
them.
depends on like what state you're in.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what you call those old wives' tales?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's pretty to look at.
Okay. Remember, I began a series 2 weeks ago on what we do in our spare time. The first segment was on movies. The
Yes.
second was on sports.
Yes.
Well, today I want to talk about television as my third
That's
installment.
A big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a biggie. It's a big one. Do you remember your first television? How much it cost?
Well, no, I was too young to know how much it cost. But I don't know. I don't know if I remember the very first one or not.
Well, now, if I were to ask someone my age if they remembered their first television,
They would remember it.
I would not remember how much we paid for ours. We bought a television.
Been a
but-
lot cheaper though back then.
No, probably not. Fool you. It will fool you. Of course, you couldn't buy a color television when I bought one. They were
When
all
did it
black.
go
They were all
color?
black and white.
Was it the '60s when it went color?
Well, I don't know. It was a
You don't
long. All we had was black and white for a long time. But rabbit ears. Can you
Yeah, I remember
can you
those.
conceive rabbit ears?
Believe it or not, some people still have those.
Well, what are those? What are those for?
People that don't have cable.
They're for reception. And let me tell you, I can remember having to go outside and take your hand and manually turn the antenna to a different direction so you could pick up a different channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you had
Wow.
three channels,
3, 9, and 12.
3, 9, and 12. But Atlanta came on the scene. I think it was channel 2
Oh, really?
later. But the signal,
TBS, Atlanta.
I guess
Channel 5.
I
It was Channel 5 for
Channel
a long
5.
time.
But anyway,
Superstation with the Braves play on.
okay.
Is that the one we're talking
I guess
about?
that's it.
Okay.
But anyway,
Ted Turner's the owner of that network.
yeah, Ted Turner. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my question about television. How much time do you think people spend per day in front of a television set?
10 hours.
10 hours.
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Work day for me was 8 hours. No, working in the
Well,
stores.
then 5 hours. 5 hours.
I don't know, but
Oh.
some people say, I don't have a figure.
Well, how did I know that? I don't know that. I didn't know why you was asking.
Well, have you ever heard the television
I'm
set?
used to all this trivia, so.
Have you ever heard anybody refer to the television set as an idiot box?
No. An
Come
idiot
on.
box?
You
No.
never have?
Alice says she's
yeah,
heard that.
yeah, idiot box. So if it's an idiot box, there's got to be a lot of people watching it for a long period of time. Where does the term? What does the term couch potato suggest to you?
I mean,
Couch
I know
potato.
That's
What does that
watching
mean?
Too much TV is what I take out of it.
It means that
Laying on
somebody
the couch,
is
watching
lying
TV.
on the couch watching television instead
Long
of
periods of time.
working or doing something outside, mowing the
Okay.
yard or whatever.
Yeah.
Couch potato.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true.
I don't really know. Here's the question. In the last, say, 70 years, let's say we probably got our television in the late 50s. Late 50s. Or, well, somewhere around late 50s. What types of shows do people watch?
Now? you're talking,
Yeah. Tell me, what do you think people
reality.
watch?
Reality.
Oh, reality TV is
now.
is something we didn't used to have.
No, that come along in 2000s. Well, really the 90s. It started out, MTV probably was the pioneer behind that, I guess you could say. They started a show called The Real World in the 90s, and reality TV just exploded after that.
There's a lot of different programs have to do with reality TV.
And I know why the networks do it. They're cheaper to make.
Well, not only cheaper to make, but you don't have to pay the star, because
Nowhere
reality
near as
TV,
much.
they're amateurs.
Yeah. So they
Some of
get
your
paid,
game
but
shows.
not a lot. Yeah.
Your game shows, you don't have to have it. All you got to pay is that MC.
That's true. And game shows, yeah, they're popular. They're
Game shows.
brought back. Dramas, yeah.
Okay, that
Like
is
crime
still
shows. Crime shows.
crime
are
shows
big.
is big. A lot of detective shows way back there.
More now than ever, I think.
Well, but
And,
you don't have as many like Jack. What was that? Jack Webb. What was the one he was on?
I don't know. I don't know who Jack was.
Dragnet. Dragnet.
Oh, okay.
That was cops and robbers.
Yeah.
And then you had the detective series. All your detectives, they were trying to find the person that broke the crime, broke the law.
And then you have comedies.
Comedies.
Sitcoms.
They were big. A lot of, and you had variety shows. Every star, not every star, a lot of stars had their television spectacular once a week. Perry Como, Andy Williams, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Dinah Shore. A lot of people would have.
Yeah, she had a show too, didn't she?
And they would invite celebrities to come and be on their show, and maybe if it was
That's
somebody.
like a variety show.
Variety show.
Yeah. That used to be big.
Okay, but
Variety shows like
haven't
entertainment
mentioned two biggies. We haven't mentioned the news.
Oh, yeah.
There are news channels that stay on 24/7.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big
We
one.
haven't mentioned sports.
That's a big one too. ESPN.
How many?
I mean, ESPN
How many?
started that.
But how
though.
many ESPNs do you have?
Well, I don't know now. There's
4
a
or
few.
5 of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News. Yeah, there's a few.
Okay, but now my program last week had to do with sports and the revenue that is generated by sports to pay the sports figures that do the sport. So now here we are, we've got an 800-pound gorilla in the room with television. How does television play into the schematics of sports and providing the revenue for sports? Television. Commercials. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
What is the momentum builder? What is the thing that's keeping the hamster in the mill, keeping him going around and around and around?
Commercials.
It's your money and my money buying what they advertise on television.
Yeah.
That while they're showing you a little bit of that sports or a little bit of that news or a little bit of that cable offering,
There's
reality.
a lot of commercials on TV. Too many.
That's what you get.
Yeah. I mean, that's why. That's how they make their money. But boy, seems like they just go on forever.
How many television sets do you own?
One right now, but I mean, I've had 2.
You've had
people
2?
have 2 and 3.
I think we have 2.
You've had 3 though.
Okay. I had a friend back in the late late 50s and 60s, I'll say, and he would take us to a ball game in Knoxville once a year. And when we got back home to his home at night, we'd get back in our car and we'd come back to Pikeville. But they would invite us in. We'd have lunch at their house or go to a restaurant. Nice people. But he had 3 television sets. And he would be watching, when we got back home, he would be watching 3 different football games at the same time. I kid you not.
That's a good way to keep up with it.
He had 3 television sets to keep up with 3 different scores of 3 different games.
That's funny.
Well, it's funny, but serious too.
Well, whatever floats his boat, you know. It's his money.
Well, okay, now which one do you think is the most watched? We talked about reality TV, cops and robbers, detectives, we talked about the news, we talked about sports, we talked about everything, but which
sports, because of the Super Bowl and the World Series and the NBA playoffs, those still get your biggest ratings. And so yeah, sports.
We didn't even mention movies.
I mean, yeah, movies come on TV. They get good ratings.
Do you realize
some
that
movies are made for television?
They're made, but do you realize that there are movies on television that are still black and white? They're going back to that era that you don't like me to talk about.
I don't want you to ask me trivia questions about, because I don't know the answers.
Okay. In Albertology today, I want to talk about Benjamin Franklin just for a minute.
Now, what's that got to do with TV? Are we off TV now?
We're off to.
Oh, okay.
That's part of my Albertology.
I was just making sure.
I said, now I want to talk about Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin was born in 1790. Well, in the 1700s.
We've done a lot of 1700s today, haven't we?
He died in 1790. He died in 1790. He was 84 years old.
Okay.
The citizens of Philadelphia, when Benjamin Franklin died, turned out 20,000 strong for his funeral. Do you know anybody that's died that gets 20,000 people to come by the funeral home and visit?
Well, that's hard to do.
I think when Carolyn died, we counted 600.
Celebrities.
Yeah.
You know,
We
things
counted
like that.
600 names of people signed the register that came when Carolyn died.
Oh,
But
at
but
least,
but
yeah,
we
that's a
have
lot.
the people of the United States, us, we have given Benjamin Franklin all kinds of accolades, saying that he was a great man. We've put his name picture on a stamp. We've got his picture stamped on a coin. We've got his picture on one of our bills, one of our dollar bill, one of our paper monies. So he's been around for a long time, those 80 some odd years, and so I think Benjamin Franklin is one of the great men in the history of the United States. He played an important role in us getting established as a country. He was there for a purpose, and I believe he served that purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
That's true.
yesterday in Nashville, or day before yesterday, I guess, in Nashville, our vice president paid us a visit.
Did he now?
Mike Pence. I don't know him well enough to call him Mike, but Mr. Pence will say. He came to Nashville for a fundraiser over there for the GOP. You know what GOP stands for? We talked about LBJ and FDR.
So it's the Republican Party.
Grand old
Party.
Party.
That's it.
But Mike was over there, and he was doing his best to help Governor Haslam with his money-raising efforts. And you know, we had Governor Haslam here in Pikeville here not many days ago.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, maybe.
Not been that long.
No,
not been that long.
maybe a couple weeks, maybe.
Okay. Did you read about I bet you didn't read about the orangutan that died
No.
yesterday.
Sign language speaking
Orangutan.
orangutan. Is it Chantic?
Chantek was his name. He was 39 years old, 39 years old.
39. Was raised as human in Chattanooga.
You don't believe that, do you? That's on front page of the paper.
Here's the picture.
He could speak, not speak, he could converse with sign language. He went to school.
Really? They're smart though, Papa.
Well, they treated him like a human
crazy.
child.
Yeah, it says raised as human. That is.
Yeah.
What about that?
And he died at 39.
Well, what about that?
Well, okay.
So they can live pretty good.
39,
then.
yeah. Okay, also on the same vein, Death, who died at 81 yesterday. Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell is one of my stars in the country music field, but he was also a pop singer. He could bridge the gap between the pop culture and the country too.
Yeah, crossovers.
He really did a good job at it. And I my favorite song, I guess, is "Gentle on My Mind," but I like Galveston.
Yeah.
I like Galveston.
And I like Rhinestone Cowboy.
Well, I'll have to say, you want me to sing it? No.
No.
But Glenn Campbell died at 81, and he died with Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's.
He's had that since 2011, at
2000,
least.
I believe it was 2011. He hit the scene back in the 60s. Let's see, his daddy bought him a guitar, not a full size, 3/4 size, when he was 4 years old. When he was 6, he was playing a guitar and singing
Wow.
on radio stations when he was 6 years old.
That's amazing.
He quit school when he was 14. He quit school when he was 14, decided he'd go out on his own. But he knew
Goodness.
His father's brother-in-law lived in Albuquerque.
And his parents were just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess 14. His daddy was a sharecropper. Didn't have much money, I'm sure. And so the father-in-law had a radio show, and so he went and he just kind of got in on that, you know. But he's played background for Frank Sinatra. He's played background for Nat King Cole.
I didn't know that.
He's played background for Dean Martin. He's played background for Elvis Presley, Rick Nelson, the Beach Boys, the Mamas and the Papas. So he's been around for a long time in the background. But
I
it
didn't
wasn't.
realize all that.
But he didn't get famous until '67, and that's when Gentle on My Mind got him in the business.
Oh, okay.
Big time, big time. By the time I got to Phoenix, got in the top 40. He had 4 Grammy Awards, and then he had the television show of his own for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. 69 to 72, he had his own television show.
Okay.
So
More of a Texas Ranger.
he
joins forces with John Wayne.
Yeah, and he also has appeared at the White House.
Yeah.
By request. Also,
I know when he was married to Tanya Tucker, they stayed in the news a lot. That was,
well, and he was also
some wild times.
Queen Elizabeth.
Now she still loved him though. She, in an interview, you know, she's very hurt by this.
Well, I'm
She
sure.
still had a lot of love for him, even though they fought a lot. They grew to love each other, I think, after
Did you ever
they split up.
Did you ever see me and Carolyn at a fight?
A little bit, yeah.
No, you did not. Okay.
So you're getting on you about something you done.
Or didn't do.
Yeah.
Mostly what I did.
Yeah, that's true.
I had more problems with Carolyn with what I didn't do than what I did do.
Yeah.
Here's an article on whom do we trust? Who do you go to whenever you got a problem? Here's the 8 top professions. Number 1, nurses.
Okay, so
You go to a nurse whenever you got a splitting headache or whatever, you know.
Good point.
Pharmacist is number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
I understand
Get
that.
the medicine.
Joel Stanford can help me out with more things than my doctor can almost. Dr. DeBrill, I said almost. Number 3. Number 3, your medical doctors. Okay, Dr. DeBrill, I got you in there 3rd.
That's right.
Number 4 is engineers. You understand? You don't. An engineer can tell you why you need to get something to somewhere. They're not going to move it there for you, but they can tell you why to and how to.
Yeah. I was expecting that to be on there.
Dentist is number 5. I don't understand that. How a dentist is going to help you? Except I'll get that
help
tooth.
your teeth,
I'll get that
but,
tooth out of the way. Police officers is number 6.
I can
I
see
understand
that
that.
one.
That's
Yeah.
good. And college teachers, I don't understand
Don't
that.
understand that
Don't
one.
understand that. I wonder why.
Just
And
trust them if you wanted information.
information,
Oh,
but some of
yeah.
the stuff you don't want to hear. And then last is your pastor, your clergy. That's
Oh.
last. That should
Well,
not be
I mean,
last.
What was it? Just
Clergy.
was that the order or just 8 things?
That's the order.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's weird.
Now I showed you
That is
I
weird.
showed you Lone Ranger. I want you to see my Lone Ranger.
You showed us. You showed
Okay, I want
us.
to tell you some stories now.
Yeah, it's joke time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought that picture because you talked about the Lone Ranger a lot. And
Okay.
Tonto, right?
Tonto. While waiting in line at a bank, a customer developed a very loud case of hiccups. By the time the customer got up to the teller's window, the hiccups had gotten worse. And so the teller took the man's check that he wanted cashed and proceeded to run a computer verification of the account of the man. And after a minute, she looked up from her terminal with a frown on her face and said she would be unable to cash his check. Why not? The man said incredulously. He couldn't understand it. I'm sorry, sir, but our computer indicates that you do not have sufficient funds to cash a check of this amount. In fact, our records show that your account is overdrawn by $5,000. He hit the ceiling. It can't be, he cried. You got to be kidding. And she says, yes, I am. And she smiled, but notice your hiccups are gone.
That's a good way to get rid of them.
Oh, buddy, I don't want to get rid of mine like that.
Scared it out of me.
Scared a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, he's brought her home. Had a date with a beautiful girl. They're standing outside her door, and he wonders if he should make a move. And she says, I don't usually kiss on my first date, but since this will be our last, I'll make an exception. That's not good.
No, it's not. You got time for another one?
All right, listen. Ruby, I got a phone call from Ruby yesterday.
Well, I hope you told her what I said. She's not been able to reach me up here, but I'm not ignoring you, Ruby. You can call me anytime, and we appreciate you watching. She's one of our biggest fans.
You better.
And you were supposed to tell her that. You better have.
Probably didn't. Okay, now this woman worked as a secretary at an international airport.
Okay.
In the office adjacent to where the security guards did their work. That's where they would take a suspect.
To detain them. Yeah.
They were, yeah. So one day she glanced up and saw the security officers questioning a man inside the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly they were called away and they left the room with the door not locked.
Not smart.
And so the man's left alone in there, and it upset her for that suspect to be in that room alone and them gone and her next door.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So finally the man began to walk out. She summoned as much courage as she possibly could, and she ran to the door and said, you get back in there and you stay in there, bud. Don't you move till I say you can. He was scared to death. He went back in the room and sat down. Finally, the security guards came back, and she walked over there to tell them what she'd done.
Yeah.
Well, when she told them what she'd done, they went in the room and told that confused, scared to death telephone repairman he could leave.
Poor guy. That's hilarious.
Would that be Ethan?
Yeah. That'd be Ethan right there.
Okay. Okay, now we're talking about Ruby. Let me give one more about
Last
Ruby.
one. All right.
Ruby was in the habit of having long telephone conversations, stretching as long as an hour or more some days.
Okay.
So one day she hung up in just 25 minutes.
That's a long time.
Her husband said, what's the matter, honey? You weren't even on the phone a half hour. Oh, it was a wrong number.
Let's still talk for 25 minutes.
Still a wrong number.
That's
might
bad.
have been a telemarketer.
That's bad. She's a big mouth for sure. Well,
That's it.
Those were good. All those were good, Papa.
I had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. And we're getting very close to our 50th episode. Next week is our 50th episode, the season finale of the Albert and Billy Show, and then season 2 will be premiering in a couple of weeks. So
what about that?
We appreciate everyone for listening and watching on WUAT and Channel 18 Valley TV and YouTube. And be sure to join us next week for our 50th episode right here on the Albert and Billy Show.
See you, folks.